Even the most experienced guys looked terrified when command said this is where we were heading. Anybody going into combat, if they don't say they're scared,
I don't think they're being honest. I knew I would be confronting combat, and I just hoped I was able to face the facts. Hope I had guts.
Second Lieutenant John Gibbons has been assigned as a replacement B-17 pilot with the 100th Bombardment Group. Just weeks after arriving in England, he is already leading his crew into battle as part of a 15-mile-long parade of nearly 700 American bombers and fighters. D-Day is now less than 3 months away, and U.S. Army air commanders are desperate to bait and kill far more German fighters. To do this, they are attacking the one place Hitler will stop at nothing to defend: the German capital of Berlin. With Hitler himself bunkered in the city, it is the most dangerous mission yet attempted. Nearly 750 anti-aircraft gun emplacements surround Berlin. And more than 70% of the Luftwaffe fighters are stationed within combat range along the way. The bomber's route is intentionally designed to create a 400-mile-long battlefield, along which they hope to attract and destroy as many German fighters as possible.
This is it. Time to focus straight ahead and get my crew through to the other side.
As they close in on Berlin, more than 10,000 Luftwaffe gunners prepare to unleash the most heavily concentrated flak barrage the American airmen have ever seen. The fighters will not venture into the deadly flak field. But Gibbons and the bombers have no choice. To hit their targets, they must head directly over Berlin.
We can already smell the cordite from the flak through our oxygen masks. God, my stomach's starting to churn. This is Berlin, for God's sake. They're gonna throw everything they got at us. But no matter what, we're hitting Hitler's town. And we're gonna drop our bombs right on that Nazi bastard's head. It's like the entire world is on fire. Like the whole thing could just rise up and consume us at any moment. There's nothing I can do except hold steady and pray I'll get through. Pray I'll see my family one more time. Pray I'll still be around when Dorothy receives that letter.
The United States Air Force has just completed the greatest aerial daylight operation of the war. A bulletin on the operations, received within the hour, says heavy bombers of the 8th Air Force.
Much depends, of course, on how well the Germans can continue to stand up against the line air attacks.
We have been described as a nation of weaklings, playboys, who would hire British soldiers or Russian soldiers or Chinese soldiers to do our fighting for us. Let them repeat that now.
The barracks are empty. So many men are just gone. I barely even had time to learn their names.
For John Gibbons and the men of the 100th, their Berlin raids are some of the costliest in bombardment group history. But they also mark the beginning of the end in the battle to defeat the Luftwaffe.
Looking around at the guys' faces, there's sadness everywhere. But there's also a sort of grim determination. What we've gone through, it changes you. I know now that I can manage my crew and face whatever I meet in the skies. I'm part of the bloody 100th now.
With the Luftwaffe threat severely diminished, the Allied air forces spend the next 2 months targeting railways, highways, and bridges in an effort to prevent the Germans from reinforcing the Normandy beaches on D-Day.
This is what all fighter pilots dream about. There is no greater thrill than the thrill of the hunt. But I can't help thinking about what the bomber boys went through. For every one of us that becomes an ace, hundreds of them have suffered or died. War isn't about glory or being a hotshot. When I think about the war, I think about the guys that never made it home. Those guys, to me, they're the real heroes. All my friends who gave their lives, those are the guys I'll never forget.
Allied troops stormed the beaches of Normandy as planned. Luftwaffe resistance is minimal. They no longer have enough men and machines to effectively strike at the invasion force.
Knowing that American soldiers are dying is heart-wrenching. But I also can't help but wonder, what would have happened if our airmen hadn't made the sacrifices they did? How many more dead would there be?
In the months leading up to D-Day, the U.S. Army Air Forces in Europe suffered 18,400 casualties. But in the battle against the Luftwaffe, they accomplished the impossible. They took their newly established, inexperienced force and destroyed the most powerful aerial combat unit in the world.
I will never forget my time with the 8th Air Force. The Air Force was
certainly one of the most important arms of war that the United States ever had. The Germans had to be defeated, and I think we were part of the defeat that was inflicted on them. I was glad to be a part of the army that defeated him.
When I first heard about D-Day, I couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. We helped make that possible. We were carrying on a war before anyone else. It was something we were proud of. No matter what happens, you'll always remember your time in the war. There's a camaraderie, a friendship that you never forget. You may forget your missions, but you don't ever forget your friends.